welcome back to Gino's Garage. My name is Jeff, and we're going to be giving you a little toolbox tour today. We got a bunch of the tools we carry in our bus and in our trailer. We're doing some tool reorganization, so I figured this would be a good time to go through some of the tools that we carry. Now, we carry a lot of extra tools that you probably wouldn't need if you're just a regular bus owner. If you're not going to do a lot of the work yourself. If you do a lot of the work yourself, some of these tools you may want to carry. So if you have any questions of what I carry, or you see a tool that I didn't talk about, leave a comment below and I'll try to cover what that tool is or answer any questions you have about the tools we carry. I also want to mention I'm wearing my WOG t-shirt today. If you're not a Wander Lodge Owners Group member, you may want to sign up for that. If you're looking to get a Wander Lodge or you have a Wander Lodge, you definitely need to go on the WOG. That's where all the good information is about Wander Lodges. So we'll also leave it a link to the Wander Lodge Owners Group YouTube channel, where Randy just did a similar toolbox tour of his toolbox and some of the good things he carries. He's been doing this a lot longer than I have, and he's got some good tools and some good ideas of what to carry in your bus. So here we go, and we'll go into this. Okay, so we're going to show some of our tools that we carry on our bus now. We carry a lot more tools because we work on buses, so probably than the average person would need. But this is my main toolbox. You can see I've got 1/4-inch sockets, and these little magnetic trays are nice. They're magnetic on the bottom too. They stick on the top. I've got these little trays that pop up for putting parts in. I've got a handful of those. It's a big Milwaukee light. Inside of here, we have all kinds of stuff. So all my sockets, there's a set of standard and a set of metric on there. Some of the newer stuff is metric. So we have that. Little, all kinds of some deep wells that I use, wrenches in the back. These are some new extensions I just got the other day. We haven't really put in. It's my ratchets, 1/4, 1/2, 3/8. Some pry bars, little baby pry bar. Set of wrenches are in the back. There's some crow's feet. This is a special tool for if a lug nut or a bud nut gets stuck. The lug nut gets stuck on a bud nut, which happens every once in a while. This allows you to hold the nut and get the lug nut off of it. I had one of those do that. Somebody cross-threaded one of the ones on my bus tire, guys. That's some pipes, sealant. We got Loctite. This is Loctite 515 for that. That's for like setting seals, and then a regular Loctite. Toothbrush, good for cleaning. This is the Cricket for setting belt tensions on the 3208s, mainly is what I use that for. Some other sealants. This is for brake cans, to release the spring on a brake can. We got all kinds of stuff. We got a big pair. These are 460 channel locks. They go different size. Sometimes you use those on a filter because you can't get it loose. Some more wrenches. Another one of those guys that's floating around down here. Pry bars. Another brake can. Can never have enough of those. More deep well sockets. I think these are metric. There's vice grips. Gotta have vice grips. Come handy for everything. This is a installer tool for pulling on dampers or whatever else smaller. Lots of little pullers. This is the 3208 injection timing gear for the injection pump puller. This is a very nice one. Got some more pliers, some more another set of crow's feet. Craftsman. Never have enough of those. And then under here, there's more storage. So I've got calipers, some pick tools. I don't even remember what's in here.
The dial.
Oh yeah, my extensions for dial indicator. Dial indicators on the side. These are paint pens for marking torque when you torque stuff. Got and then line wrenches. So regular line wrenches, and then these are ratcheting line wrenches. Little easy out set. Smaller easy outs. Some other miscellaneous wrenches. This is a set of snap ring pliers. Good set of snap ring pliers. So the nice set about this is you can flip them from, so this is sprung that way. If you flip the lever, and it opens them, and when you pull it, it closes. So it's kind of like a 2-in-1 deal. It's pretty nice. They're made by Crescent. Channel lock, sorry. Back. So that's the main stuff in this toolbox. So behind here we have, there's a little bit of room, so there's a 134A gauge set and then a R22 gauge set or standard refrigerant gauge set. I got a few extra bottles of gear oil, transmission fluid, whatever you want to call it, some brake clean, etc. back there. That's a Detroit tune-up set. Those are micrometers. Those are wrenches, like 1 inch up to 1.25 inches, I think, or something. That's another whole cobalt socket set, and that's a jumbo socket set. So that goes up to like just shy of 2 inch, I think. And I got, this is a roll of jumbo wrenches. I think they go up to 2 inch. Yeah. So, and then Milwaukee batteries, charging, and then some Milwaukee tools there. Got other Milwaukee tools in my trailer. Some of this stuff, we're actually going to be taking a lot of this stuff and putting it in our trailer. Big pry bars. These are big drip pins for driving seals out. I got several different sizes. So that's the main stuff in there. I think there's a set of jumper cables in that basket as well. Got gloves and stuff. And we've got a big thing here. We'll have to pull some of this stuff out, but my little mini sledge, that's my go-to for a lot of driving seals out and stuff. All kinds of pullers. This is a custom made jobby I made for pulling the gear off of air compressors off of these buses. So I made these little adapters to make it work. Engine assembly lube. There's torque wrenches, smaller torque wrenches, and my big torque wrenches in here too. Scrapers, all kinds of scrapers, oilers, lots of hammers in here, dead blow, Like I said, we'll pull some of this stuff out. Heat gun for, you know, doing heat shrink on firing connections. So this is a majority of the stuff we just pulled out of this barbecue bay. Can't believe all this was in there. But we'll start. There's a Detroit. This is an injector height setting tool made by Snap-on. That's only for Detroits without jakes. This is a regular Detroit tune-up kit that was in that other set. It's got injector height gauges. That's these guys. Some other. This is Series 60 injector height. This is the line socket for the 92 series. Lots of feeler gauges. There's some settings for throttle delay, I think, or if I remember correctly. These are the special wrenches for the adjusting the valves and injector height. That's a Kentmore set that comes with all this stuff. That's a number there. So some Allen Allen sockets, all kinds of hammers, several dead blows, ball peens, mini sledge, monkey wrenches, big crescent wrenches. This is a injector cup cleaner for 92 series. Big ratchet that goes with 3/4 inch drive set. Big filter wrench pliers, little filter wrench pliers. A strap wrench filter wrench plier that goes in a 1/2 inch drive socket or ratchet, I mean. The scrapers, like I said before, if you haven't seen these or used some of these carbide tip scrapers, I highly recommend them. They're a whole lot better than a regular scraper. End off, it's hard to do. So these are the carbide scrapers. It's got a really sharp edge. It does a really good job at cleaning. These are made by Lyle, I think. I really like those. That's a little vacuum tool for pulling vacuum on stuff. Those are, I haven't even used them yet, I just got them. These are for crimping off, you know, hoses or whatever. A little oiler, several different kinds of, these are for brakes, this anti-seize, several different kind of pullers. This comes in handy for sucking out fluid from stuff. Several of each size torque wrench. It's an old-timey torque wrench. Hole punch kit, impact driver kit. This is easy out set. Adjustable, indexable pry bars. These are good for pulling the injectors out on either 92 series or Detroit or Series 60. You can change where the claw is. This is an easy out set. Another puller set, nice OTC puller set. Hole saw kit. These are 1-inch sockets, come in handy. There's a bud socket in here, I think, too. Flare kit for flaring copper tubing. There's lots of copper tubing on these buses. This is a riv nut set, they call it. So you drill a hole and you can put one of these guys in there and it rivets it in there. This thing is not focusing. This is, as it says, all different kinds of Torx. Set of Torx bits. And then a tap and die set. So various sizes. So that was pretty much what was in that, in our old barbecue bay. So we'll keep going around the rest of the bus. So here's that cobalt set of, it's a ratchet set. It's convenient to grab that whole set if you need general ratchets. This is that big wrench set, like I said, 1 3/8 up to 2 inch. So, and then the big jumbo 3/4 drive sockets set. That's a big ratcheting wrench that fits the 6V92s to turn over the engine while doing the tune-up. A big 3/4 inch, no, maybe that's 1 inch drive breaker bar and some other breaker bars. Little reusable brake clean canister. And then I got my tool bag. This has pretty much all small hand tools on it. So I mean, I got all kinds of screwdrivers, pliers, Allen wrenches, files, wire strippers, several. There's 3 different meters on here. Of course, I'm an electrician, so I have lots of meters. All kinds of screwdrivers, test tools, test light. Gotta have a 12-volt test light, or several. I think I have 3 different ones of those. Power probe. It's elsewhere, but yeah, lots of screwdrivers, tape. There's tape in this, and wire nuts if you ever need something in emergency. It's not for a permanent solution, but you got wire nuts just in case. But that's pretty much it. Of course, tape measure if you ever need it. So back here in the back of this, I've got, this is like jumper leads. So they use a standard alligator clip, and this is additional pieces for the meters, so different probes, etc. Gator clips. There's other stuff in there. I think some of the stuff is just, yeah, miscellaneous Cat 5 stuff, just leftover stuff from PVC pipe cutter. That comes in handy for cutting hose, cutting PVC pipe, etc. Another thing that I've grown to love and have every time I do anything is this magic creeper. This thing, this is one of those infomercial things you think, well, is that really going to be nice? But I use this thing all the time. You can see it's pretty worn out, but it's nice, you know, if you're on uneven ground or dirty ground, you can just lay it down and kneel on it. You know, it works for putting stuff on there and dragging it out from under stuff. You know, it's got a real slick inside coating that allows the 2 layers to kind of slide. So that's how you slide under. You can watch the infomercials or whatever on it, but that thing really, I love that. I bought another one, a generic knockoff one too, that I have now. I have 2 of them now, so. Okay, here's a table that I carry. This is called a Keeter table. This one's been beat up pretty good, but the biggest thing with this thing is it's collapsible. So push in on these sides and it collapses down. Very thin, pretty lightweight, and it's very sturdy. So just open it up like that, put that back lock in, it locks, and you got a nice sturdy platform. It also comes with some clamps that slide into the top here, and you can, you know, clamp stuff down, so if you're working on something, makes a nice little addition to this table. Okay, so this is a new addition to my tool setup. I actually had some of this stuff, but this is the Milwaukee pack out stuff. So this is miscellaneous fittings and stuff in here. This is a new set of impact sockets. So there's some metric and standard. All this stuff sits on the top and locks in. Pretty much try to keep all my Milwaukee stuff together with this. So this has all the drills. I've got Milwaukee adapters, drill, impact, some sockets, some drill bits, grinders, cutting wheel, grinding wheel, hacksaw, So all that stuff sits in there. That sucker's heavy. And then down in the bottom, down here. So this is the base down here. This is where I have all the big tools. So I've got big axle sockets, extensions, adapters. This is the lug nut and the bud nut sockets for taking off the wheels, bus wheels. This is the protector. These are kind of nice. It's got the numbering for how you're supposed to torque the wheel nuts. I've got wrenches in here, different wrench sets, metric and standard. My big 3/4 drive impact, it's got a reducer on it right now. These are pretty nice. These are called tight reaches. This is a 1/2-inch drive one, and I use this thing all the time. It's really come in handy, and it takes a beating. You wouldn't think you could. I use that big 3/4 drive impact on it all the time, and it thankfully hasn't broken yet, but works great. Works great for taking airbags off. This is the big 4-inch axle nut for the rear drive axle and tag axle. And then just some more socket sets. I have all kinds of socket sets. These are just happen to be the lug nut ones with protections, plastic protectors on them. That's pretty much it in the Milwaukee boxes. Alright, so here we have, this is a Keeter brand little cart. It's got wheels on it, it's got a little handle on it, opens up. We just keep lots of supplies in here. So DOT quick lock air fittings, tons of those. Reducers, old stuff we've taken off of stuff. I mean, I try not to throw anything away just in case we need it. Miscellaneous hardware. Mainly this is DOT air fittings and NPT air fittings. This side we have some spare breakers, 50 amp breakers. If you're somewhere and the breaker doesn't work, got different breakers for that. Got some electrical fittings, some pipe dope. Got some grease fittings, in case a grease fitting doesn't take grease. This is Mobile 28 grease. This is for electrical fittings. I put this on our plug. I clean them and I put a little bit of this on the plug. Helps anything electrical connection wise, you can use that on it. So in here we just have general, we've got cable ties, different sizes. This is a spare valve cover gaskets for 6092. This is gasket making material. Obviously we make gaskets every once in a while. If we don't have a gasket for something, we don't want to wait for it. Electrical connectors, fittings, we got tons of those. The toilet seal, an extra 50 amp plug just in case. We've got spare belts. I think those are alternator belts, I don't remember. These are just some leftover Series 60 button caps. Those don't really need to be in there. Just lots of spare parts. Just miscellaneous stuff. That's to remove fuel filters. There's some switches. More cable ties. Lots of cable ties. You never have enough cable ties. You know, this is a brake valve, brake relay valve. We actually end up using some parts out of this because it wasn't quite the right valve. So these are spare capacitors for the air conditioners on the bus. So I keep both. There's a start and a run capacitor. So start and run capacitors. Those are good to have. Spare bud nuts. These are hose clamps, all different kinds of hose clamps, assortment of cotter pins, got several different of those. Heat shrink, all kinds of different sizes of heat shrink. These are some spare resetting circuit breakers. These are all over these buses. I have all different sizes. You know, they're just like a fuse. They have different ratings by the amperage. That's some spare leads. Here's some miscellaneous constant torque clamps. So these are good for Detroit stuff. They keep them from weeping when they sit. Multicolored, more cable ties. These are multicolored. I use these sometimes to identify stuff as I'm taking it apart. There's lines or wires. You can use a different color so you know where to put back with what. These are spring assortment, so it's all kinds of springs on a Wander Lodge, so it's nice to have springs. Some more springs. These are some replacement height control valve or height control rods. So these are adjustable. So I carry those for height control rods. Yeah, that's pretty much it that's in here. I have to try to get all this crap back in here. Alright, so here's some items I don't think I covered before, but we do carry, it's a 20-ton air jack. It's air over hydraulic. This is a little stubby jack, 20-ton, is it 20-ton? I don't remember. I think it's 20-ton.
Yes.
Yeah, 20-ton stubby jack. That's good if you have a flat tire or something. The big jack won't fit under there, so sometimes you need that stubby jack to get up under there. We do have a big air impact just in case something's stuck and we can't get it loose with that. We'll use that. We also have a torque multiplier, would be a good thing to have too. So this is a torque multiplier. If you don't have a big impact, this is a good way to, sorry, I'm off camera there. This is a good way to replace an impact. Instead of having an impact, you know, it turns very slowly, gives you real big amount of torque. So this will break lug nuts loose. These are cheap. You can buy them at Harbor Freight, wherever. But this is a good replacement if you don't want to have to carry it or pay for a big impact that you don't use very often. So this little handle goes on there, and they work good. Also, if I don't have air enough to run my big air, I can use this and still break something loose that I can't get, you know, I don't have enough air to run that or whatever. So these are good to have. One I bought off of Amazon, I think.